what you see. Come and get it with me. I know you deserve all you want. 'Cause your heart's made of gold. But don't wait till you're old. If you want it, I get you some.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to my channel for the Bravo Breakdown with Joleen. That's me, stand-up comedian and Bravo superfan, Joleen Lunzer here to break it all down for you. If this is your first time on my channel, what we do here is we take a comedic look at all things Bravo. We have some fun with it. You guys know we roast, we recap. Today we have a very special guest that I'll be bringing up shortly. But first, I want to remind you guys to smash that like. You guys have already been killing it with the likes pre-show. So let's set a like goal. Feel free to sound off in the chat and we'll try to hit that like goal today. If you want to support the channel further than liking or subscribing, you can always send a super chat while we're live. I'll highlight your comment. You can send a super thanks after the video posts. You guys know you can hit me up on the Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. I got a Patreon. I got a YouTube membership, all those annoying things that I remind you guys of. So thank you so much for that. Today's show is going to be so fun because when all the scandal was going down, I was getting so many messages saying, you have to collab with Ryan Bailey. You're both hilarious. We know. Thank you. And you have to collab. And I had previously met Ryan at, I believe, Up and Adam and Zach Peters' show. We can talk about that when I bring him up. But I know that he is super hilarious and has a wonderful podcast, So Bad It's Good, with Ryan Bailey, that I know all of you are sub to. And if you're not, go check it out. And also his YouTube channel. And I linked it in the description and also in the title. So you guys can just click on it. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. All right, Melissa, I like this. I don't know why I like it, but I like it. Let's try to get to 1,044 likes. Can we do it? Mods, keep us updated. And I'm so excited that so many of you are excited for this collab. So without further ado, let's bring Ryan Bailey up onto the screen. How you doing,
What's
guys?
up? Let's dip out. I gotta dip out, you guys. I'll see you guys later. I had a great time at BravoCon. Yes. What's up?
Such a good time.
let's get to 1 billion likes. Let's get super lights or likes or whatever. I'm so new to the live stuff, so this is wild. Do I get social security numbers from anybody?
Yes, that's what I see in all the memberships, is all their social security numbers. And it's amazing. I claim them all on my taxes, Ryan. You got to get into this live stream world. I know you do great edited stuff, but
it seems so complicated. It seemed like I don't even, you were speaking a foreign language at the beginning, and I've done Up and Adams before, and it's the same thing where I feel like I don't know like all the super likes and the super chats and the private. It's a lot. I can't believe you are in control of all of this. This is amazing. Hello, everybody.
We're so glad you're here. Yeah, you kind of have to be a carny with this stuff. So
I'm a carny in my normal life. So this is
all right.
Perfect.
You can do it. Realification, thank you so much. I'm going to pop up comments from time to time. Realification, thank you for being a member for 30 months. Appreciate you so much. And Realification says, I love Ryan Bailey. He does great impressions. He's hilarious. Yes.
Thank you.
I'm so happy you're here because I literally I don't know if people were reaching out to you about me, and don't feel like you have to say they were, but people were reaching out to me about you.
No, I think we almost collabed during Scandival, but Scandival, I mean, this is so sad to even say. It got so intense that it was really like a full-time job, and it was so hard to like do recaps and try to, I mean, it was just such a whirlwind, and it's still, I mean, we're still feeling the after effects of that. But yeah, I totally got that. And especially putting this up on you, because we do the podcast, but we put some of the recaps up on YouTube, or we'll put some of the interviews, but we're still fairly new to YouTube, or even we don't do this kind of stuff yet. And, but you were like one of the top names that would always come up in terms of collaboration and like the YouTube of it all and stuff that I have no clue about. So I'm glad we finally get to talk.
Heck yeah. Well, if you ever need any help, I just had Zachary Reality, and I told him I will walk you through the StreamYard shit. So if you want to get on,
yes, I do.
Walk both of you through
I do. I just hung out with Zachary Reality on Saturday night. He's so fun.
He is so fun. I think this like community of Bravo content creators, for the most part, I think is really fun. You know?
Yeah, no, and I like you start your show saying like, This is also about parody. This is also about making fun. This is also about making light. Like, we make deeper points or observations, but at the end of the day, I think a lot of these shows are meant to bring some sort of joy or to laugh about and to be so passionate about that it's kind of silly that we get so passionate about it, which is one of the things that I like about it. I like to have a sense of humor about all of these things, but with the Scandal, it hit into like comedy, but also like deep pathos and anger that I'm still, even after seeing Tom Sandoval this weekend at BravoCon, I still don't think this guy gets it at all. It was fascinating.
It is so fascinating. Thank you, Chickenhead. PK Neely, we love you. Right back. Thank you for this first super chat. I do have to say, I was creeping on your Instagram because I was living vicariously through everyone who was there. And I did see you were seated kind of closely to the Toms, weren't you?
Dude, I was talking about this, I think, on tomorrow's show, but I had 2 run-ins with Tom, and I knew Tom a little bit pre-Scandival, and I've hung out with him and Ariana before. I was at Coachella when they were saying, like, I was around this, so I would have told you that you were full of crap if you had ever said this actually happened with Raquel, or the artist formerly known as Raquel. And so I really didn't believe it, but I will say it was shocking in such a way. So I have not talked to him since, and he's come on the show before. I really loved that guy. And I thought this was
you went to his house, Ryan.
Yeah, I went to, and by the way, he put the great thing about Tom is he really is trying to be a showman. He's really trying to be, really give you an experience. And he did that, but I just thought this was so beyond the pale. And I really thought what I liked about him was very different than, like, say, the Jaxes of Bravo, where I thought he was the anti-Jax, where he was the guy that just wanted to do his weird little cover band and be that weird guy that everybody loved. He was very happy with Ariana, which was a very real relationship. And I was really disappointed to find out that he was kind of like the rest, that he kind of drank the Kool-Aid a little bit, or that's how it seemed. And then to watch his reaction to all of this and still to paint himself as this martyr. And I'm like, you created your own martyrdom. Like, he really is trying to come off and try to get this kind of sympathy vote. And I know that a lot of the Bravo cast members like Sheena and Lala, they've reconciled in some way, but we don't know how that's happened because we haven't seen season 11 yet. But for him, like, anytime you put a mic in this guy's face, he's just not good at communicating. So he ends up saying something so wrong. Like, he's like, I'm so tired of seeing Ariana stank face. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, doofus, like, stop, just apologize. It's always like he almost wants us to apologize to him, and it's just not going to happen. But I will say it is funny. He still has his fans. Every Bravo celebrity has their fans, and it'll be interesting to see how season 11 plays out, because it's supposedly like a redemption season. And I just feel like we might be rushing the redemption season a little bit. It might not be fairly accurate because Rachel will not be there to give her side of the story. So he's able to shape this redemption narrative any way he wants.
Yes, I totally agree. Have you watched him on Special Forces? Did you watch those dudes kind of school him?
Somebody just brought this up in the chat. This is the Richella bracelet he gave me. This is the official Richella bracelet. There are 20 of these in existence, and he gave me one of them. So this is a little piece of history right here.
Did you sage it after Scandival, though? I
almost burned it in anger, but then I got it insured by Lloyd's of London, so we're good.
Evelyn, thank you so much for the super chat. 2 of my faves. Both of you are so funny, do great impressions, witty, and both have big hearts. Love you both. Evelyn, that's so sweet. Christina, thank you as well. Ryan,
I love Christina.
Bailey, yes, he is here. Okay, so I have to ask you, first of all, since we were on the topic of Tom Sandoval, I do roast and recaps of his podcast. Have you listened to his podcast?
I listened to the first 2, and I put them up on our Patreon recaps, and I just thought, what an interesting podcast idea for him to get other people to come on and interview him. Like, he's just like, what do you want to ask me, dude? And like Jerry O'Connell, like, I dipped out after the Jerry O'Connell one because Jerry O'Connell did like a decent job, but it was like one of those things of like, Tom, what were you thinking the whole time? He's like, that's a great question, Jerry. I really respect your work. You're such an amazing actor. Well, and then he compared himself to like the guy from Linkin Park, and it was really, And I think I just think we have to accept that he's making as much money, maybe not as Ariana, but as the rest of them off of this. He just has to make money as a villain now instead of a hero. And I think he's a little butthurt about that. And you got Schwartz always like still being that lost puppy dog that is always like, I don't know, man. Like, it's crazy. I just want to be held, but I can't really make correct decisions to the people I love or care about. It's wild. But I mean, the Bravo fandom, any of these girls at BravoCon would have gone home with them. Like, that's what I noticed is that they're still just as excited to see them. It was just, I forgot to say this earlier though, at the Bravos, I was like a row behind him and I was like, oh crap. And I was like ducking down in my seat like this so he wouldn't see me. And he was like brooding the whole time. He was like this. And you could see his painted nails, and I got like a close-up shot of the painted nails. But I hid from Tom Sandoval the entire weekend because I'm just not ready to have any kind of conversation with him yet, which is crazy.
No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. Yeah, his podcast is just like you said. It's a mess of him. He has no interview skills. He doesn't know how to articulate himself in any way. Everything's and he keeps using these analogies to drugs and heroin, and they keep saying, and I'm just like, oh, but I will say the standout worst person on the podcast is the drummer Jason.
Jason,
have you met him?
Yeah, I met Jason a bunch. I mentioned, Jason I met a bunch of times because I've seen Tom Sandoval in the Most Extras a bunch. And when I liked Tom, it was really fun to go and check out. It's not the best in the world, but it was always fun. And then I was just like, this is so weird that they're still going on this tour. And they always like, we would be banned from the music industry if we didn't go on that tour. And it's like, no, you wouldn't be banned for you just want to be out there.
Gatekeepers for karaoke tours. Like, what are they talking about?
David Geffen will never hire us if we don't go on the road this summer. But I mean, oh my God. Jason Bader is the guy, I think, the brains behind that podcast operation. Yeah. He's the guy that sets it up, puts it up. And listen, if you are on a reality show, your podcast better do good. So I think he's just got to, it's like, let's see where it's at in a year. I know they said in the first episode, they're going to do Patreon episodes once season 11 starts airing. So it's got to last into January, but I don't, Tom's always he's never a big podcast listener. I just always appreciate how much work goes into podcasting. So sometimes when these Bravo celebrities, and not just Tom, they kind of just fly by night into it, I'm kind of tepid at best because I see how much work goes into this stuff. So it's they kind of stroll on in there and just pretty much fart on mic and it's good enough for people. And I don't know. So we'll see where it goes, but I think it's interesting to watch the fandom, to see it teeter of wait, is Ariana the bad guy? Wait, did it's I always think it's we're so much easier to forgive men in society. Yes. And then even if the woman has been scorned, they'll find some damn way to bring it around to how the woman was bad. And I see women do it. Women are
Me too.
Fuck Ariana. Where were those pins and batteries? Where were they? I don't get it.
Yeah, they're this cold bitch. It's always a way. And I also
do you see how she looks? She just looks. She just exists. Do you see how she breathes?
You should smile more. What a bitch. Yeah. It's horrible. And I also think that's true with Rachel. That's why I like that question that guy gave. Why are you here? Why didn't you disappear for a little bit? That's one thing I do respect about Rachel is that she fucking disappeared for a minute and figured that out. But Tom has never been on more TV in his life than right now.
I said the exact same thing on the show was that I am no fan of the artist formerly known as Raquel, but I do appreciate that she's the only one that went out there and got mental help because this was extreme, but her behavior was extreme. She's the only one that did that. She also made the positive choice of not going on camera, even though she would have made money because that would have hurt her more. But Tom, there was no pausing. And I think as an audience, we have to be careful of it's not heroic because somebody chose to come back to TV. Right. He's positioning himself, and especially at BravoCon, he was like, well, I think it's pretty brave of me to actually come back and do this. And I'm like, that's not bravery. Bravery is putting a stop to all of this and saying, why is my behavior? Why am I reenacting the same scenarios? Why am I hurting so many people? And why do I need this so badly? And I think that's the thing that I really highly doubt it's I saw that Dr. Drew came on and said he wasn't a narcissist. So I guess he's not a narcissist, you guys. Dr. Drew said he's not a narcissist, but I find it such a weird, it's truly so bad. It's good. It's a weird thing where I'm like, oh my God, you guys, your brains are mush. Tom, take a seat for a second and stop living this reality show daydream. And I don't know, but yeah, the special forces is amazing to watch him take like emotional poops and stuff, you know?
And for when he said, okay, so he's talking to the military dudes, they've seen some shit, they've been places, you know, people there are dealing with the loss of loved ones and children. And Tom's like, well, my publicist said he's never seen anything like this. I'm like, you can't get more douchebag LA than fucking that.
It's like, no, he goes, I'm coming on special forces to bring back the good name of Sandoval. I was like, bring back the good. Do you think what brings back the good name of Sandoval? He's like, it's like Mr. Sandoval's like, Tom, the only way you can redeem yourself in this family, if you go on a Fox reality show, it's the only thing that will bring our good name back in society. And then he was like, you think that's bad? My publicist has never seen anything like this. And I was like, your publicist? Why you're still paying your publicist? Like, it's all just so much. And I think it's so ridiculous that it's funny. But if you look behind the scenes, there's like this innate sadness to all of it that I still am so curious how they tackle in season 11, because I don't even know if production has a good grasp on everything that's happened. And I mean, they do, but I mean, it's in such a short amount of time to come back. I mean, they can't let the air out of the bag. So I totally knew they would come back in January, but it's just a lot. And I think so much has happened that the behind the scenes infighting over who's getting the brand deals, who's making money, who's not. Yeah. There's only so much attention economy, even for what we do. Like there's different podcasts and shows that pop up all the time that we all kind of benefited from this Vanderpump economy. I just think at the end of the day, we're going to end up cannibalizing ourselves because we're going to now make Ariana a villain because she won't do a scene with Tom in the show. I'm like, dude, she said from the beginning, she's not. She's protecting her own mental health. This guy truly seems like he's got a couple screws loose. And I do worry about Tom, like all joking aside, like I hope he gets some help because this can't be good to stay in this when you've messed up so badly. And let's call it what it is. He messed up really badly. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Like there's not a lot of argument to say, sorry, Ariana gave a stank face. You should like cheat on her with one of her friends for 7 months and lie to her.
Yeah, and you should have sex with her when she's mourning her grandmother and
in their house.
Dog in their house. I mean, people forget.
Let's hop in the jacuzzi.
So yeah,
and
I hate that.
Imagine Schwartz in that jacuzzi. He's like, yeah, you want a Coors Light, dude? And Schwartz, like Sandoval's trying to get Randy with Raquel. And Schwartz is like, where do I go, dude? Should I go? Hey, could I call Joe and invite her over? Like, it's such a bizarre, disgusting brothers element to this whole thing. But they're good looking and charming, so they'll get by.
Yeah, and that's how it's always been. And we finally we've seen behind the curtain, the veil fell on the Toms, and a lot of people now see them for who they really are, but they're not willing to see themselves from who they are. So you see Sandoval being the perpetual victim and making it about himself, and then you see Schwartz doing well, come on, don't do the mob mentality, guys. Come on, don't feed the mob. It's like Schwartz. Well,
then you have Jax. They've invited the ultimate evil back into the fold, so Jax has to be like, come on, you guys. Sandoval's okay, you guys. And it's like, of course you think he's okay. You've done this 30 times and you're just happy to be back on TV. So you're going to like not say shit about any of this. Yeah. So it's really weird to watch the behind the scenes stuff in addition to what we're going to see captured on film, which we saw a little bit at BravoCon. And that was truly insane.
Did he try to kill her dog?
Well, there is a scene where Ariana is like, you did this, you tried to kill my dog, you will be dealing directly with my lawyer. And Tom looks like, he's like, he looks crazed.
Where's my diet squirt?
Yeah, he's like, oh, my nail polish is coming chipped. This is crazy. And DJ James Kennedy,
like it.
We see a beach party at the beginning, and DJ James Kennedy is like, this line over here is for Ariana, and this line over here is for Sandoval, and you cannot cross this line. So it looks like they have a very intense beach day. And but it was really annoying at BravoCon because Tom was getting booed when he would speak, but he was also saying stupid stuff. And Lisa would be like, no, everybody be nice. It's very good he's here. And it's like, Lisa, do not police everybody's feelings on this stuff. Like, that's the thing, that there's a scene that we see in season 11 where Lisa's talking to Sheena and Lala. He's like, you don't understand. He's lost his girl, his business. He has a shitty band. You don't understand. He's on his last legs. Like, and it's like, what blood pact did Lisa Vanderpump make with the Toms that she has to defend? Like, I just don't get it. Like, I know she wants him to stay on the show, but at the same time, I feel like we normalize cheating in such an interesting way, not just in this,
my
but in
God.
society, where it's
Yeah.
like, hey, sorry, ladies, expect to be cheated on and realize when it happens, it's your fault, period.
But you know what's funny is they do that, but then when women have a reaction to it, to someone else's cheating, they say, well, why are you reacting? Maybe because you just told us it's all going to happen to us. So you think it might be a little triggering to most of the women watching, seeing a scandal type situation. Because from what I found covering the show is a lot of people had similar experiences. So they want to say, well, you're going to get cheated on, get over it. But then when people have reactions like, well, why do you care? Because it's happening to people. It's going to affect, we're going to be triggered by the stuff that we're watching. It's very interesting. Now, I've had this comment up for a minute.
Yeah, what is this concept about?
So Jason, the drummer producer, we love roasting Jason because I don't understand why he's there. There's someone in the back probably doing all the hard podcast editing, all the things. He has this laptop, Ryan, on his lap, but he never fucking touches the laptop, but it's open and it's just sitting on his lap. And we're like, what's the laptop for, Jason? What are you doing?
And Jason, that's not good for your swimmers, I hear. If you have a heated device near your man parts, that's not good if you're trying to have a family down the line. But also Jason Bader, he's married to the girl that works on the Howie Mandel show, which provided us the best, worst podcast I've ever seen with Howie Mandel. Like, I don't know, you guys. I think it's fine. He seems like a great guy. Like, I don't know. I don't watch the show. I know nothing about it. He seems like a great guy. I don't know why everybody's hopped up here.
What's a big deal?
Insane.
That was the worst, but the best. Just like you're saying, like I did a 3-part series covering that lasted hours because it was so good. Dirty Bitch X, I want to recognize some of the super chats. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Chicken head, thank you. I love the mic. Oh, both of ours? Do you love both of our mics? Always love your shows. Thank you, Jody. Thank you so much. I think it's interesting what you brought up, Ryan, is how the narrative is being spun of now how Tom is a gosh darn hero for just showing up, and how Lisa's saying, you know, he lost everything. I'm sorry. I don't think he lost anything. He's been on more TV shows than he's ever been on his life. He's able to tour and sing, and he can't sing. He has a podcast now. He is making more money than probably he ever has.
The only thing, like, I think the thing that he's butthurt about is that he has to make it being a villain, and he's just not used to that. So he wants to be a hero because he's always looked as that guy. Like, I really, crazily enough, I looked up to that dude. I thought, like, listen, I'm a weird guy. I do a podcast. I do weird things. This guy, you know, goes to the beat of his own drum. Like, I thought that was all awesome, but it is ridiculous. Like, he's making a lot of money, you guys. Like, he didn't do Vanderpump Rules season 11 for free at all. Like, it was like, this wasn't charity work he's doing for us. This is a chance to get his narrative out there. And you'll see, like, everything will be back to normal, I would imagine, at the end of the season, unless he keeps saying really stupid stuff. And the story, we'll see what the story the producers are trying to tell this season. And it'll be up to the audience to find if we find truth in that, or if we see him doing scream therapy in the trailer. Did you see that? He's like, oh
my God, I can't wait.
He does scream therapy, and you're like, oh my God, are we going to see this guy? He's like, I'm trying to heal myself, dude. And like, if we have to see a season of him going from like therapy to therapy.
Ryan, let's be real. That's just his singing. I mean,
he has like a blindfold. He's like, ah! It was so, I'm like, that's already kind of funny, you know?
That's what I mean. If he would lean, he either has to go one of two ways, I think. He has to find a way to be truly apologetic and own his shit, which I don't think he'll do, or he has to lean into the villain, because he can't have this both ways.
I think he is kind of leaning into the villain. I just don't think he's great at it. But he was wearing a denim skirt on stage for the panel. So already, I was trying to explain his style now. His new style is almost like a C-level Adam Levine from Maroon 5. Like he had these fake neck tattoos. That's what I'm like, why copy Adam Levine's style of it? He had like these fake like neck tattoos, and it was like a whole thing. I don't know. I'm kind of exhausted by the men of Vanderpump Rules. Like, even like we made DJ James Kennedy a hero, you know, like he's out there living his best life. When do you think that
exposed party's going to be coming out?
I have a feeling that we might see something this season that even DJ James Kennedy isn't aware of, but we'll see. But I think it's really weird to like kind of brag about yourself as the number one guy in the group if you have a history of really bad behavior yourselves. I think we need to get rid of number one guy in the group as a phrase and just kick it over to the ladies. But you're going to see this season, all these ladies are going to end up fighting over with each other because of who becomes friends with Sandoval. And even Lala stood up for Tom Sandoval at the BravoCon panel a little bit. And
what did you think of that?
I don't love it, but like Lala is great, but she's a walking contradiction. Like if Lala feels something, it's valid. If we feel something and she doesn't, it's not valid. So, well, it's like, well, listen, if we were booing Randall, she would love it, you know, but we were booing Tom and she didn't love it. So I find it interesting. Like she can't understand extreme feelings when she really should because of her situation with Randall. And that's when it gets a little hypocritical for me because it's like, dude, at the end of the day, no matter your feelings about Ariana, this guy was doing the same behavior that your soon-to-be husband or, you know, ex was doing that you found degrading, horrific. It just changed you. That happened to Ariana as well. And I don't know. I find it frustrating because I think there is a hierarchy and I think there is squabbling and infighting behind the scenes because of certain people's success.
Well, and I think there's a great deal of resentment on Lala's behalf because she didn't get the sympathy that Ariana got with her Randall situation. And I think it is a different situation because unfortunately for Lala, she had already kind of created this narrative about herself that she was like BJ's for PJs and whatever. So a lot of us just looked at it like a Hollywood relationship, a young hot girl going with, you know, a young hot woman going with a guy in the industry with no neck, you know, who wouldn't go with him if he didn't provide opportunities, you know, like Big Ed style. But and I think with Ariana and Tom, it was a relationship that people had followed for 10 years and they just didn't expect this to happen. I saw them as like watching the show, a true partnership. Did they have their issues? Sure. But I never really looked at Randall and Lala as like an equal partnership like I did Ariana and Tom because I felt like, you know, they started on the same, you know, with Randall, obviously he's starting from a place of power, dating her. Now we find out that was all, you know, fake. But so I think with Lala, I think she can't help herself but being mad and resentful that she's not getting the sympathy that Ariana got.
That's why I think Lala is a very successful podcaster. And I think that's really where whatever next phase of her career will be through, because I think she's good. She has strong opinions, but I think when you put her on a show, I've always said I would love to see her on Beverly Hills Housewives. I hope she graduates to that at some point because Vanderpump Rules, there's like tertiary connections. Like, you know, when I was watching the BravoCon Vanderpump panel, you really get the sense that yes, they've known each other for a long time and they've been friends and all this stuff, but it really read as business associates at this point more than anything. There was a level of, you didn't get the sense of like real friendships, but friendships that are brought together because of this show. Because guess what, guys? If you worked at a bar 15 years ago, you're not supposed to still be friends with the bussers and the bartenders. Like I worked at a bar. I'm not friends with everybody that worked there. Like these people, like these are the like your 20s. Oh, you remember back to the place you worked in your 20s. They're not supposed to still be in their each other's lives. So it's interesting to see Sheena wrestle with like the right place. Like she hung out with Tom and Brock at Tom's like place. And Sheena, in classic Sheena, she was like, because I don't like what Tom's saying in the press. And I had to go tell him. And I'm like, you don't know about text messaging? You can't text message Tom that you don't like? She's like, I had to show up at the hotel and stay there for 4 hours to get my point across.
And talk to Captain Jason. Poor Sheena. My mom in the chat, Nana, saying, take the denim skirt back to Kohl's. And if my mom is saying take it back to Kohl's, she loves Kohl's. So I agree. Nana Artist, thank you so much for the super chat. Hello from San Francisco on vacation. Enjoy your vacation. Okay, so when we talk about, I find it interesting, the Ariana and Sheena dynamic now with the friendship, because I want to believe that they have this really great friendship. And I think they do. But I think Sheena's downfall has always been when there's a guy involved, unfortunately, sometimes she lets him take the lead on things, and possibly with this Brock wanting to stay friends with Sandoval. And not that Sheena doesn't want to, she's known him for a long time, but I just thought Sheena would be, I know she has to work with him, but I thought she'd be more anti-Sandoval for longer if she's Ariana's best friend.
Well, listen, I mean, best friend, I think is like, it's a term that is thrown around a lot, but when you're in the hurricane of this and they were all doing their little brand promotions and like, like that stuff, but like, it would have been great because we left. So it's such a powerful scene, the most powerful scene that Sheena had on that show of like, talking to Sandoval in that scene at the very end in Scandal episode. It was perfect. Like put Tom in
Yes.
in his place. And Brock was like, you really put us in a bad position, guy. Like, I don't know how to do Brock's accent, so I do him
Lucky
as like an Irish
Charms,
guy.
Brock.
Yeah. And I really thought it was going to be a long time since that could be mended either. But I will say, when somebody lies to your face, you don't usually know they're lying to your face, but we can, because the camera usually picks up on stuff that you can't see in the moment. So we can watch this shit and go, oh my God, he is so full of it. This is crazy. But if you're being lied to your face, I feel like it's like much harder to stay mad at somebody potentially and be like, well, he says he's sorry every time he sees us. He seems, if he keeps saying it, it seems like he's really sorry. I thought it would last a little longer, but
Yes.
they're also making a show. And I would imagine the producers are like, just hear him out. Just let him talk to you. Just let him do a scene with you where he explains himself again. I just still find it unfortunate at the end of the day that Rachel is not there. And they even said at the producer panel for Vanderpump that Rachel is, she chose not to come back, but it's not like she is not brought up. And so they talk about her a lot, they said, with the other cast, but she's not there to give her side of the story. And I foresee that being a big issue down the line because I have a feeling Rachel experienced something that we are still finding out in little dribs and drabs. Because that Bethany Frankel interview was like, but like it was all
bad. Like Howie Mandel.
Yeah, it was all towards Bethany's reality reckoning instead of the details in that relationship. Because it sounds like Rachel was being heavily lied to as well throughout that whole experience.
Yeah. And how come, Ryan, we never hear anymore about this alleged FaceTime, finger bang that he filmed without her consent and saved on his phone. No one's talking about that.
Well, what a good guy, right? But people were saying like, well, Bravo should have like, done something with him. But remember, that was done after filming Wrapped. Like all of this stuff, that had nothing to do with filming. That was Tom Sandoval. And it is funny, and I just attribute it to being a guy, is that we forget that stuff. We forget that he illegally recorded her, fiddling with herself and he showed, like this is, I mean, it's kind of like on Southern Charm right now, except that like Whitney showed like Taylor's nude to his mom. Like, I'm like, mama, check what I got out. Mama, it's a nude. Oh, Whitney, you're doing so well out there. It's crazy. It's crazy, but we forget about these little details because when somebody is like, oh, like he feels so bad, you guys, he's like, he's being beaten up on CNN. Oh my God, that we forget that all of the stuff that he did that led to this, he is not some guy, like some innocent that didn't do anything. Like he literally did things to cause this. And if you're on reality television and your life is the show, you're going to face blowback. The only difference when Jax did it is that we never liked Jax. We always knew he was the villain. We liked Sandoval. We trusted Sandoval, even if you say like we did, and we liked him and Ariana to a great degree. So that's why this was such a big deal.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of the Southern Charm of it all, so I'm newly getting into Southern Charm because I watched a little bit in the past, but I totally plugged into this season, especially when I heard it could be a Scandal 2.0, and then it really isn't. But
it's mini.
I'm so curious about this. How old is this Whitney? Because he's like
he's 68 years old. He's 60.
That's what I thought. I thought he was 72.
I think he's in his 50s actually. Like he is up there, but it's kind of funny because he's one of the producers on Southern Charm. Like he's the guy that started it with this other guy, Thomas Ravenel, who's no longer on the show.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
And so it's really interesting to watch when Whitney pops around because it seems like they all kind of kiss his ass. Like, Whitney, can I come over to your house? Oh my God, is your mom home? Like it's a whole weird.
And I love this. With his mom.
Well, I think it's for the show. I think he's jet setting all around, but I love it's a weird dichotomy in being a Bravo fan. Like I like Miss Patricia a lot. I think Whitney's completely silly. So it's weird.
Yes.
Like my feelings change every season usually.
Okay. Yeah. That's what it seems when I was just putting it out there that I was going to cover some Southern Charm. People had, I never thought I'd agree with Shep, someone said, but I can't stand Shep. Like he infuriates me so bad. Like this giant man baby. I just, this season, I don't know.
Well,
He's not
it's
for me.
another example of how men get over so much
Yeah.
easier than like it's like you have Austin, Shep, and Craig. And Craig, Craig's done his stuff, but Craig, I actually I like Craig this season. I think he's actually really funny. But Shep and
Mhm.
Austin are two men that have both cheated multiple times.
Yes.
Like Austin this season of like Austin has to keep pulling men one-on-one to have conversations about why he hooked up with their ex. You're like, hey, bro, I just wanted to pull you. I'm sorry. Like, I'm like, how many times are we going to have this scene where Austin pulls a different guy into a room and go, listen, I didn't want to do this to you. I'm so sorry. We have to do this. I'm like, you do have a choice. Like, it's all about choices. And it seems like a lot of the men on Bravo never make the right one.
Never. Now, did you happen to be at the Southern Charm panel
I
when,
was.
okay, like that was a great moment when Austin was called out by Olivia, about like, I think it was, I'm trying to remember. So it was how Austin told Olivia, but told Taylor not to tell Olivia. So then Olivia, it's almost like they're trying to, again, what they do in the Bravo world, or the men in the Bravo world do, they pass it on to the woman, Taylor's fault. Not that Taylor, she's not my fave either, but
yeah, how do you send, I mean, like, I liked it, but how do you send a nude to Whitney in the first place? How do you go, I want to send a nude to that guy? Like, that part blows my mind. Like, no offense to Taylor.
Wanted to piss off. She was going to blow up Chef's life by showing her tits to all of his friends. I've felt that way before. I get it. Okay. A little bit, but also I would never to Whitney, because why send it to the grandpa of the show? Like that didn't make sense to me at all.
Well, we're going to find out if she sent it to like Michael, the butler that like lives elsewhere now.
Oh, the one care facility, I think now. And they still call him for help. And I'm like, he's in a gosh darn nursing home. Leave the man alone. Just go visit him.
He does seem to know how to make a great martini, which is amazing. So
so horrible. But I love that she kind of checked Austin, like, and I forgot exactly what she said. You were there, but like, what was that moment? Maybe.
Well, it was a great moment just of like, listen, you are the one that like tried to keep it. So you are the one that actually is to blame. And I will say the panels all needed more moments like that. But I think Bravo kind of kept a lid, because Austin was like, listen, I'm not really going to say much unless you ask me a specific question, because we got to save it for the reunion. And I'm like, I'm here now. Like, I don't get to go to the reunion. I want to answer now. And they did the same thing with the Summer House panel, where it kind of felt like it was like a tight lid kept on these things. Mm-hmm. So you could feel awkward tension. Like at Vanderpump Rules, the tension was wild. And then they like went to like insanity where DJ James Kennedy and Sandoval started doing push-up contests. And I'm like, this is insane, you guys. This is exactly why men are idiots. Like, this is insane that I'm watching that. He's like, yeah, dude, let's do push-ups, dude. And then they're like, yeah, can you do one-legged push-ups? It was so bad. But yeah, all the men kind of like try to skate past on their charm. But like Austin and Sandoval, and maybe Carl Radke to a lesser degree, they all kind of had hangdogs. Like, oh, I guess nobody likes me,
I love that. Hang dogs. Yeah, they're very good at that. Now, were you there? I'll just mention another. Shout out to the audience at BravoCon, because the questions. So were you there for the Teddi Mellencamp?
Sure.
Like, why are you trying to make Teddi happen? Why are you trying to make
at the Beverly Hills panel? Yeah, that was great. It's like, why do you keep trying to make Teddi happen? Don't like stop doing it. And Kyle's like, well, Teddi is very much happening in my life. I don't know about yours, but she is very much. And I don't know. And listen, like I always call her Freddie Mellencamp, like she's just Freddie, and
like Freddy Krueger, like you're in your
name? Well, a little bit, but just Freddie. It's just like a name, like, she's Freddie. And like even though she claims not to be, she wants to be back on a show so bad. Thing with it's like, pick a lane. You have a successful podcast, but you're like paying more for a glam squad than most housewives that are on a TV show. You want part of this universe so bad. And she's one of the people when she was like leaving the show of like, don't worry, I'm not going to be like I'm not going to stay like in this housewife circle when I'm off the show. And that's all she does. And it's like so enticing for these people that it becomes like a battle to get back on the show. But they give Teddi so many opportunities. And I feel like on Watch What Happens Live a couple weeks ago with Kyle, like her jokes just fall flat. It's like she bombed. Well, it's like she must pre-write these things, but her delivery, it never lands. So it's always this awkward pause, which, by the way, that's a lot of where good comedy comes from. Like Steve Carell in The Office is the comedy's in the pauses. But sometimes I'm laughing at her and not with her. And I think there's a big difference of that. And I just, like, by the way, she'll get back on one of the shows eventually
Well, they're
because
pushing her. Yeah.
oh, yo, they're riding so hard for her, but I just think
Mhm.
it's going to be maybe a painful experience in a way she's not expecting. Because I think she thinks she's going to triumph because, listen, I have this successful podcast. I work with Tamra. I just think some people aren't born for TV in the way, say, like a Lala is, or even a Tamra, who I think is,
Mhm.
even though I completely disagree with her strategy as a housewife, she does pop on television.
Yeah, I agree. There are certain people that can handle, and there's certain people that can't. And I think you're right. Teddy's one of them. And it's the rehearsed reads that don't land. And it's, for me, it's cringy because I know what it feels like to bomb on stage. So to see someone who thinks that they're killing it, like she turns to the side and she's like, because you probably thinking about real cancer, huh, Vicky? And I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. It's like when your parents died, right? You know?
I'm like, oh God, Teddy, go home. Like, I feel like she has that kind of Nepo baby confidence that only Nepo babies can have. Like, I can do anything. Actually, you can't. You really, you can't.
Totally.
Teddy
Yeah.
Mellencamp. Okay, I have to ask you about the Jennifer Aiden Jersey moment when that woman asked why she's so far up Teresa's butt, which is a valid, great
Yeah.
question. And now she's out here doubling down on body shaming, fat shaming, and misgendering this woman. Were you there for that?
I was there I was at the end of the Jersey panel on Sunday. And I will tell you, it was wild because Teresa was getting booed right and left. I will say, I don't mind that as much as some people like, how did you pay to go and boo people? Like, that's part of the experience.
Yeah.
That's part of like, it's kind of like gladiators in a sense of like, and also if you're going to like not face an issue and stay kind of stupid, bland things, you might get booed. And especially with Jersey, where it's like a full on war going on. If you go on Jersey Housewives Twitter, it's like, I get scared. I get fully scared. And everybody's like, no, dude, they hired 1,000 they hired 1,000 Melissa fans to come in there. And I'm like, guys, I was there. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, it's just, I know people want to believe, want to make, it's like the same people that said Vanderpump was fake. It's like, guys, not everything is QAnon. Not everything is a conspiracy theory. Like, you know, we can actually dislike Teresa and how she's handled things. Like, I like Teresa, I like Melissa, but I think some of the things that they say, there's like a disconnect with Jennifer Aiden and Teresa sometimes, where the question was asked, like, why are you so far up Teresa's ass all the time? And, you know, Jennifer, instead of really kind of arguing, she just goes for the jugular and like, you're fat. You're a fat person. You're a whale. And I don't think that's necessarily the funniest of comebacks.
No.
And I think they never learn. But that's the thing about housewives is sometimes these housewives that we see, we like them because there sometimes is a screw loose. They sometimes don't really think things out before they say them. You know, sometimes we don't want to see somebody that has their life fully together. We want to see little bits of messes, but sometimes it gets to a point, especially on Jersey, where the bit wears thin a little bit for me. And I'm like, guys, just, but somebody asked Louis if they could explain his job in 5 words or less.
I love that.
And he immediately, she was like, she's like, you're out. He was like, it sounded like Jen Shaw describing her job. And I was like, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's very suspect. That was hilarious. Yeah. And now, I mean, Jennifer, and now there's like, they've started, I think, a petition. I mean, there's always a petition to get Jennifer Aiden fired for this, which I don't think is going to happen.
Well, hey, listen, in all fair, I am running in the 2024 generals, and I am running on a campaign of getting Aiden out, getting Austin off Southern Charm and never to visit. No, I did a change.org
on that. Yeah.
Well, this is like, I've done so many idiotic things through my podcasting career. And like one was last year when Austin was on Summer House. He was like, kept visiting Summer House and he thought he was all cool. And he was like, do you want this, Sierra? And then he was turning around trying to sleep with Lindsay. And so I started a change.org to have Austin never visit Summer House again. And it got like an insane amount of signatures. And I felt like, it's like a truly idiotic things, but it is funny. It makes me laugh when people do those kind of things of like, get Jaden Aiden off of Bravo. And I'm like, I'm just trying to get free healthcare, you know?
Yeah, we don't need to worry about getting Jennifer Aiden. Someone has a new podcast name for us, Riley. Make it happen. Well, it's already
That sounds like somebody from OC.
It.
That sounds like a character from Real Housewives of Orange County, like Ryan.
It does.
Season.
It's like, this is my third husband, Rylene. Like, hello, Rylene. He doesn't talk to me. He only makes out with the dog. Okay, cool. You're going to be great for this show. Let's see another. Oh God, I got to ask you about this. Okay. So have you seen, I have it here for us to just kind of take a look at. It's just like 4 minutes. Okay. And it is the Joe My Gosh, aka Joe the hairdresser, aka maybe Schwartz's sometimes girlfriend. I don't know if they're girlfriend,
Yeah.
boyfriend, aka Kristen Doute's ex-best friend, right?
Yeah.
AKA a crackhead, according to herself. Or no, she does. She says I'm not a crackhead, but maybe Katie said she was. I don't know. Somehow she keeps mentioning crackheads. I did a deep dive on her Instagram, Ryan, and back to 2019, she was comparing herself to a crackhead. So I don't know where this
Yeah.
crackheadness came from, but okay. So she put out a little story because she made her Instagram
Yes.
public. Because I know I was trying to follow her during Scandal. Because if you guys don't know, Joe was on the infamous Big Bear trip with the Toms and Raquel before, you know, anyone really knew about Scandal. It was like January of this year. And then it came out and these fans posted pictures with them and they're like, why is Rachel there? Where's Ariana? Where's Kate? You know, or like, who is this?
Yeah.
And that's Joe. And then Kristen, she on her own podcast and, you know, and kind of told the story of how this Joe My Gosh was her friend and hairdresser of a lot of these people, had done Ariana's hair, and went on to right after Katie and Tom Schwartz's separation, divorce, went on to be like, Katie, I'm so sorry. And then moved in with Schwartz and started hooking up with him and never talked to Katie again. Something.
Well, also, I want to point out with Joe too, if you guys remember before she locked her account, she also now, what we found out was, went on like a double date with like Sandoval, Raquel, Schwartz, and herself at Kyle Chan. Kyle Chan had like a party, and it was the night of the season finale. What was supposed to be the season finale for the opening of like the Something About Her testing, where then Raquel got into a fight with Katie by the propane tanks and Schwartz. And Raquel was like, "What are you? Talk to me, Katie." And but like those two guys went and hung out with the two girls at Kyle Chan's and then went to the Something About Her to film. That's how I'm saying, like, Joe knew way more about this Rachel stuff than she's ever let on.
Way more. And she's still a very big Rachel friend. So she's going to be in this upcoming season of Vanderpump Rules. And she does have a scene I saw at the Kyle Chan finale that she looks like she was talking with possibly Katie and maybe a few others, but she will be in the season, and she has unlocked, you guys, breaking news. She has unlocked, as of like yesterday, her social media. And then she decides to do, thank God, I've been waiting, to do this, post this story. And have you watched it yet,
is this really I watched the first minute and then I dipped out. I dipped out, dude. Is this really 4 minutes?
It's yeah. Okay. Let's just play it. Okay. Let me know if you can't hear it. We should be able to hear it. I'm going to play it now.
Hey guys, I'm not a big filter person, so this is me natural.
Oh, amazing.
I'm Joe. Hi. I'm going public, I guess, with my Instagram tonight. This is my dog Checkers. He's got one eye.
You love him.
He's very sweet. Hope you guys all will be kind to me. I haven't gotten the nicest stuff on any type of platform, but I wanted just to make sure that you guys could kind of just see like me, no makeup, no filter, like this is who I am.
Right, let's just pause. Why are we bringing up the no makeup? What's the significance?
Guys, I'm like you guys. Like this, I have not showered in 3 days. If you could smell me, I'm very real right now. And that's how real I am. And I have not gotten the nicest things, but I just want to know that I'm real. And there's nothing done on here at all. This is all real. This is natural.
It's giving Schwartz this kind of back and forth of like, and then also, Schwartz, dressing like a, divorced dad, who's just like, waiting on custody of the kids. And then she's kind of like, me too, I'm sad, So I'm kind of starting to get why they're together.
Well, imagine Schwartz watching this too. Schwartz is like, oh my God, she is natural. That's amazing. What a brave move. I've never seen that. Like, I'm used to all like the BravoCon ladies, and to see Joe all natural and just looking like she didn't shower is amazing.
It's amazing. I'm used to these Kardashian knockoffs, these housewife. What does he call Lala?
Like a bootleg Kardashian? Yeah.
Yeah, bootleg Kardashian. Thank you, Indiana.
Bootleg Kardashian, dude.
She said we're her favorite YouTubers. Thank you. Okay, let's continue with this weirdness.
During BravoCon this weekend, I did not attend. Thank gosh. I went.
Wait a minute. She's staying on brand,
Thank
Ryan.
gosh.
Thank gosh.
Thank
Oh my
gosh,
gosh.
guys. Thank gosh. It would have been crazy. I'm leaving out that I wasn't invited or asked to come, but I did not
Nobody
go.
wants you there.
Surfing, I went camping
It's like,
and watched football, and that's kind of like,
You guys, she's a guy's girl. She's watching football. She's surfing. She's like, I'm smelly too. I was scratching my balls.
who I
Like,
am.
She's a girl guy. Guy's girl.
I'm also kind of a crazy, like, I don't know. I'm kind of like I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of normal. Like I'm just kind of like, but I don't know. I did film this season of.
Yes.
Did she just go? I don't know. I just ate some macaroni. I don't know. I'm not even good. I'm so natural. I'm not.
You
good.
guys,
I'm not polished.
so random. I didn't
polished.
even add the milk to the mac and cheese. Like I'm so random. I just did like extra butter.
Well, Joleen, you don't know this, but this actually, and this was directed by James Cameron, and this has like been worked on for the last 3 months. It's the same people that did Avatar, and it's really. It's meant to like look like homemade.
He's in a Vanderpump Rules, and it was a very big eye-opening experience. I'm usually behind the camera, and like doing hair and stuff, and being in front of the camera was very hard for me.
So hard, I did it, and I took the money.
Guys, we're all by the way, officially, we're all behind the camera. She wasn't behind the camera on Vanderpump Rules. She wasn't on the show. We're all behind the camera, you know.
But I will say the producers were really awesome. And
is she on mushrooms? Like, what is happening here? It is too much. I feel like this is. Okay,
guys, we're only a minute. We're a minute and 23 into this. This is 4 minutes long. And by the way, this is what I'm talking about. You start to realize why certain people aren't on TV. And also I want to point out the similarities to the look in terms of Freddie Mellencamp. Like the look is it's like a younger Freddie Mellencamp right here. It really does.
Are you talking about Meg Ryan's ex-boyfriend's daughter? I love when Reddit does that. I don't know if you're on any of the Vanderpump Reddits, but they always do it. It's freaking hilarious. All right.
I also will say, like, Lala was she gave me grace. She was so nice to me. I didn't even really know her, and I thought that was such a sweet thing. We don't even follow.
Sus. That's a little sus. I'll be honest.
Well, you know it's good when somebody says grace in a video. They're like that, especially if they're a Bravo adjacent. If they say grace, you're like, I'm in. This is amazing. Like,
right?
Lala's not the Pope, by the way. Lala gave me grace. Lala forgave me and gave me grace.
Lala let me kiss the ring. It was beautiful.
Follow each other on Instagram, and Lala and I.
They don't even follow each other on Instagram, and she still gave her grace.
She's like, Lala, we don't follow each other on Instagram. Of course, it is at Joe My Gosh. And like, that would be cool, but I'm not even looking for that. But I just wanted to point out that we don't follow each other, but I'm going to compliment Lala right now. So my DMs are open. I am public, but she doesn't follow me.
Ryan, it's a social media grift. She's trying to get Lala's attention.
Yeah, she's like,
and I don't even have
this ends with a pyramid scheme, by the way. So here's the deal. You guys are on the ground floor. I just opened up this Instagram.
Oh my God. You can sell Scentsy candles too.
Those phone numbers, but I just wanted to kind of give a shout out about her because she was so sweet. I have not watched anything about BravoCon. Like I said, I've been, camping and everything and hiking and doing all that. I'm going to
camping, hiking, watching football, surfing, just all the cool stuff.
I'm currently off the grid. I've gotten rid of any kind of identifying characteristics about myself. I no longer associate with the United States of America, and I'm just prepping for the end of the world right now, doomsday prepping. But I mean, it's so ridiculous.
It's so ridiculous.
Snowboarding tomorrow. But
snowboarding tomorrow. In case I wasn't cool enough, I got a Roxy suit from a snowboard.
I just wanted to say that Schwartz is awesome. And
where did that come from? She's snowboarding tomorrow too. I just want to say.
Stop the presses, you guys. Should we do a page 6 push out? Joe, my gosh, says Schwartz is awesome. Like we thought, did we think she was going to say Schwartz wasn't awesome? Like, it was so ridiculous.
This is like the best.
I will also I just wanted to give a little bit of a shout out to Lala because that really made me feel at ease. So
good.
Oh, thank God. Oh, there's no. Wait, why do we get a piece and then there's another one? Like a piece usually means goodbye. Why do they keep going?
She looks like she's in pain. No one's making you do this. This isn't like a hostage
situation. Is this The Godfather?
situation.
Like, this is like, what is this? I've got a life to lead.
One last thought is I also
doubt it.
wanted to just say that there's always an opening.
Uh-oh.
You know,
Uh-oh.
you can do takes on this. Like you could edit. Okay.
Well, she's one of those people that saw like Dumb and Dumber and made it her entire personality when it came out. She'd be like, so you're saying there's a chance?
She totally is. Oh my God.
Sometimes I can't talk. There's always an opening for
talk a
people
lot.
in your life. Fuck. I'm just going to start over. Okay. There's always openings in our lives that bring you people. That doesn't make any sense. Crap. This is probably why people think I'm a crackhead.
This is the female Tom Schwartz. Oh God,
I mean, it
I'm
kind
so
of
silly.
is. I mean,
I'm so
like, oh, I don't know. You hug me.
I mean, yeah, Katie. I mean, Katie was kind of calling it like she saw it.
Good. I just really suck at talking. I'm not a crackhead. And can we just make that clear?
I never thought you. Where did this come
Guys,
from?
well, because Katie said she gives like crackhead vibes or something like that. But also that was like a joke. I mean, I really never thought that she was like a crackhead.
Yeah, but you are jumping all over the place and scratching your neck a lot. So what in the Dave Chappelle is happening over here? I mean, it's giving a little crackhead, but also, like I said, I stalked her social media a little because I'm a normal American. And I saw in 2019, she was making that joke about herself. So it could be something she kind of had that joke in her friend
Yeah,
group.
it was a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bit. And so then Katie just picked up on it. You know, Katie did the same thing with the couch. Schwartz had said he looked like a couch. So then when we were on panel, she said it.
And it got a huge laugh. Yeah.
Yeah. So is Katie the bad guy for just repeating what they already said about themselves? No. He's a genius.
I've never done it in my life.
By the way,
said, I've never done it in my life.
The only thing that would like actually be amazing right now if she just farted and she'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm real. What do you want?
Real.
I'm not gonna like I'm sorry, you guys. I'm just real.
I'm just like a cool girl, not like other girls.
Yeah.
I just shit my pants sometimes. I'm like cool. I could watch the game with you and shit my pants.
There's always moments in your life that you find certain people and you still care about them. And one of those people is Raquel. And I also am allowed to care about Sandoval as well. Now,
Great.
I'm very, very proud of both of them individually. And that's all I will say.
Is she their mom? Why do we care if she's proud of them? Like, what is she
I'm
talking
proud of people that fucking graduate school and stuff. Like, I'm not like, what am I? I'm proud that they made it home from BravoCon. Like, what are you? I'm proud. Like, I'm proud. Like, you guys realize they are making $1 million. Like, you proud? Like, you guys gotta, like, this is insane on so many levels. And if this is the BS we're gonna see in season 11, it's just not gonna end. Like, I already see this is like inane and idiotic. And it's like, these guys must be laughing their asses off of like, oh my God, we've literally got girls just defending us, like opening their Instagrams, trying to get Lala to follow them, saying they haven't showered in defense of us.
And she's not on crack. So don't worry about it, guys. No crack. Okay.
I will say.
Not
If you
done
guys
yet.
have any other questions, I guess just let me know. DM
Who was asking you questions in the first place? Like, what?
How many ends of this are there?
me.
You could add a little music. I mean, you could drop the volume down to get a little mood or something, but okay.
Well, if she starts bringing like super chat, she's like, let's see get the super chat going. We're trying to get this to 1,000 likes. And you're like, this is Instagram, Joe, my gosh.
That's next for her.
I'm really afraid of actually pulling the plug and going public. But the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't think that it would, I don't think it'll harm me. I think at this point, you guys will see the season.
What?
I just kind of started out of, I had no idea what I was doing.
Low-key does look like an episode of Intervention. Like this is, you know, when they do their
Yeah.
little diary sessions.
Walking on sunshine. Oh, I'm walking on sunshine. Oh, God.
It's too much, Joe.
And
Oh, by the way, hi, wait,
There's a
now
couple
I
people
kind
that
of hope. I kind of hope she's heavily featured on the show after this.
Me
Like,
too.
if we get into a 30-minute scene where she's trying to make one point, I would completely watch. Or like it's a Peacock original of Joe, my gosh, explains everything, you know?
Oh, it's gonna have to be like years of parts.
people that I truly, truly love. And I will say, like, Billie Lee, love her.
Where'd she come from?
I just think that you guys gotta all go see her stand up. She's good.
What? I need to get in her circle so that she can just randomly go, Joleen Lunzer? Yeah, I need you to go see her stand up. She's really fun. Billy Lee just gets thrown in, and then she does a promo for Billy Lee's stand up comedy.
Oh my
Just
God.
randomly.
And
Oh
then
my God.
yeah, I don't know. I don't really know what people want to hear from me, but I'm just wanting to put myself out there and be like, just normal and like whatever. So
When's
bye.
that gonna happen?
So then I had to look and see, like, all right, is Rachel following her? Is she following Rachel? I just had to do a little bit of,
Producer
searching.
Jerry. Yeah.
And yep, and I did find that Rachel follows her. She follows Rachel. I just had to see, are they still on good terms since she's
Vanderpump Rules party.
But
Oh my
isn't that
God,
just,
amazing.
I've watched that so many times and I laugh so hard every time because it's comedic gold and she doesn't even know.
It's the thing about like the ecosystem of all of this of like, nobody asks you to go, like nobody asks you for that. Like but they feel like they need to be a part of it. There's something like they can't stop. And that's why I keep hating this. I hate to say this, but that's why I kind of do respect Rachel in this weird way of like, the things she's done has been very minimal. The Bethany is kind of weird of it all that she did, but like for the most part, she stayed out of this. And now we're going to get this feeding frenzy leading up to January 15th of the new season of all of this, of like these kind of lives of like, you're going to see me. I don't know what storyline or how I'm going to be edited, but I hope you guys are kind. And it's like, they don't want it, but they want it so badly. And it's that push pull that's really weird to see. Like the fact that she made a video saying she's proud of Sandoval and Schwartz. Like, I don't, was that ever needed? Was that ever, I mean, like does Sandoval watch that and go, oh yeah, dude, that's amazing. Thank you.
Oh my God, Joe, my gosh's approval.
I needed that after this weekend. That's amazing, dude.
They've been so bad to me, man. He has a dip. He got a dip.
They don't understand, dude.
Yeah, the random shout outs, yes, Missy, were just so crazy. But I'm sure she'll get a lot of followers off this and we'll see how she is in this upcoming season. Okay. So I know we got to wrap it up here, Ryan. I've had so much fun with you, but I do want to ask
this was great.
A couple little rapid fire things with BravoCon. While you were there, because you went to last year's BravoCon too, right?
Yeah.
Did you prefer it in New York or Vegas? Because I know it's in Vegas for the next 3 years now.
Vegas. I thought I would prefer it more in New York, but Vegas, it was just the convention center itself compared to the Javits Center was so much better, cleaner. Mm-hmm. It was easy to access the panels. It was just highly more organized. And Vegas itself obviously is a little weird. So I was nervous about that. But overall, I thought it was hands down better than last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting from everyone because Zachary Reality said that too. And he said there were less lines. And I think, Vegas is just more, it accommodates conventions all the time.
Yeah, it can hold that kind of, in fact, there was another big convention in town that weekend that I heard, but it was amazing. Like I thought it was really handled. I was kind of shocked because I mean, the amount of organization that has to go into something like that, because remember they were doing like live watch what happens live at night. They were running around getting all this kind of content. And that kind of organization blows me away. And it seemed like a really well-oiled machine. Sometimes the panels were lacking, like I said, in regards to the actual drama, but overall it didn't really, I still had an amazing experience just walking around and seeing everybody. And it was just really a happy event overall.
That's what it seemed like. What was your favorite panel that you went to?
I had to leave early for this, but my favorite panel just in terms of enjoyment was Real Housewives of Potomac. Those ladies, they don't even need to bring the drama, just the way they interact with each other. And those are people that can do reads that aren't rehearsed. They're from the top of their heads. They're working at a different level. And to me, it was just I had to leave to go to do this other thing. And it was just so fun to watch. And I wish I could have seen that whole one, but that was the one I enjoyed the most. But I saw like the Ultimate Girls Trip panel for the Roni. That was pretty funny. It was just ridiculous. I saw Pat the Puss with Erica Jane and Mikey Minden, where she was like, this is the patented dance move Mikey and me have worked on for the past 10 years. The amount of seriousness that she takes herself, she really thinks she's like Madonna or something. It's like, so that kind of stuff is really fun for me to watch when it's like completely ridiculous. But Potomac was my favorite in just terms of enjoyment.
Yeah, I love Potomac so much. And I did see during I don't know if it was Peacock's or just like a content creator I follow, the Erica Jane show. And I had no idea she was getting a limited series. So
it looks so serious. It's like 5, 6, 7, like, and the editing, and like you see Erica's like tearing. I'm like, it was so self-important that I was like, this is going to be amazing. It seems like it has no
Right?
sense of humor, and I
No.
just think that's incredible.
And it's like just villainized Tom. She's like, honey, Tom
Yeah,
was there.
yeah.
Like he did.
You don't realize what a bastard that man was. I
Yeah.
spent all this money, but he's a complete dick.
Not giving the earrings back. Honey, would you, bitch? And you're like, yeah, I would. I actually would, Erica. Thank you, Christina. Who was your favorite Bravo celebrity to interact with, and who was your least favorite, and why?
Gosh, that's hard. Well, I did this Jeff Lewis pre-party on Thursday night, and that was kind of insane. So like I had a really long conversation with Sutton at Beverly Hills, like me and Ronnie Karam from Watch What Crappens. And that was hysterical because I think she had a couple drinks and she was just like, well, they made me write my own tagline this year. I say, and you know, cause I brought up Santos, her horse. And I was like, I'm a huge fan of Santos already. And she's like, oh, Santos, you know, so I think, you know, he knows my perfume. He knows me. And I'm like, of course he does. And that was amazing. But then I will say at the same party, Kristen Takeman from Ultimate Girls Trip, and she was on Roni for a couple seasons. She was actually not rude, but me and Ronnie got into a conversation with her and she was like, what do you guys do? And we're like, we're both podcasters. And she was like, and kind of walked away. And that was like a weird interaction. Yeah, it was like a weird interaction. It wasn't,
like, no,
I think she thought,
girl.
I think she thought she was being funny, but it didn't like land. So it was kind of just weird. But overall, I mean, I was just the Sandoval of it all. Like that was the other Sandoval experience that I had was at right before Jeff Lewis's party. It started at like 5 at the Delano where they were all staying. And I got there early just in case I was like sweating and I needed to like chill out because I get nervous. And so like I got there early just to like not sweat, you know, but I sat in this open air coffee place in the Delano, and it's not as big as the other hotels, so not a lot of people were coming in, but I immediately saw like Shep and Craig, and I saw DJ James Kennedy walking with his mom, and all of a sudden I'm texting on my phone waiting to go up, and all of a sudden I hear like, oh, did you go to the U2 show? And I hear, dude, U2 is amazing, dude. They rocked it out, dude. And I realize I'm 10 feet away from Sandoval, and I'm on my phone like this, and I don't even look up. And I just get up and I run 10 feet away and hide in a corner. And I'm like texting. I'm like, God, oh my God, I don't want to do this right now. I don't want to, because he would know, like, I don't want to have a conversation with Tom Sandoval. I just don't, you know?
Yeah, I don't blame you.
That's my immaturity, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm not like Joe, and I still think it's a really shitty thing that he did. Yeah. I mean, like, listen, we'll see what. Yeah, I'm not proud of him after this. I'll see what time happens, but it taught me an important lesson is like, don't try to be friends with any of these people, you know, like they're all nice and it's all fun, but like, don't get too lost in the sauce. Like it's amazing, but at the same time, it's comedic, it's funny. It's, you know, and I think when they do something really bad, that's the point where I'm like, I'm going to dip out, to use the Tom Sandoval phrase.
Yeah, that's how I feel about that. It's like I can't properly roast. I can't properly like find the funny if I become friends with these people, because then I'm like, oh, I kind of like them.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and that's what I've always found is that once you start to get to know these people, you see it from a different area, and you're not really able to talk truthfully about what you see, and you can't really joke about it because you're trying to protect somebody's feelings, or you're just like, God, that's not the person I know. And but Sandoval was so bad that I was like, screw that. I don't need to stand up for him at all, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because I feel like there's been certain Bravo celebrities I didn't expect to be as kind as they were, and Sheena's one of them. And so personally, I find Sheena to be a wonderful person. But then you see stuff on the show and you're like, oh, Sheena, come on, I know you're better than that. But it's also the characters that they've, you know, and their own decisions as well. So,
well, I mean, we don't help anything, so we're always like kissing their ass so intensely, and like, you know, it's like, because we're all so excited to meet them when you meet them, and then, you know, it's just weird. It's got to be weird, very weird to be them, and especially when a show pops off like Vanderpump Rules did this season, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, what Sheena's doing is actually smart, because Sheena gets criticized like, oh, she's friends with all the bloggers or the content creators. Well, you would want to be nice to these people if you know what I mean? Because there are some people that will cover it different due to that, you know?
I mean, listen, I don't think in any stretch of the imagination that Sheena considers me a real friend, but we have a content creator, reality star friendship where I get a kick out of Sheena. Like, I was so happy to buy her vinyl, even though it was overpriced. But I told her to make a vinyl years ago. I told her this, like, when she came on my show the day before Watch What Happens Live with Raquel, like when all this broke, she was on my show and I was begging her to release a vinyl. So I was just thrilled that she finally made the vinyl. It was just very expensive.
Yeah, no, her new song, The Apples. Oh my God, that song is awesome. I
By the way,
literally,
that she even mentioned, she, of course, in pure Sheena fashion in the panel, she was like, "You're going to see my band this, she goes, apples." And I don't, it's so great. It's like classic Sheena.
her band. I love it.
Well, good is gold. Good is gold, by the way. You'll see that, I think, tonight, unless they cut the segment on the Showgirls Watch What Happens Live. What I got to go see. They have this karaoke thing that they do where they pick a housewife and a song from like a Housewives and make them sing it. And Lisa Barlow has to sing Good as Gold. And it was a really amazing moment. And Sheena got up there with her, but Lisa Barlow, like, because we're good as gold. We're good as
Baby gorgeous in her vocals.
Tin roof, rusted. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Favorite party that you attended while you were there?
I mean, the Jeff Lewis live pre-show party
Yeah.
was, I mean, because that was the first night and I was like, oh shit, like this is insane. But last year I stayed at the Gansport where they were all staying. So every night on that rooftop bar area, like that was where the NBC party, like last year was like insane with the parties every night. But Jeff Lewis, that was a really insane party. I was invited to Larza's bungalow party from Miami, but I didn't go to that. I went to see DJ James Kennedy spin at Club Aria, and he brought Jackson Schwartz with him, which was insane.
See, I probably would have went to that instead too. I would have went to see James Kennedy spin. Last question, did you off of panels, did you run into any fighting, any drama you can mention? Do you catch anybody arguing? I mean, no, last year we had, what was it? Joe Gorga got in a fight with, was it Jennifer Aiden? And like threw something at her or something?
Yeah, in the hotel lobby at the Gansport. I battled with my stomach all weekend. I almost shit myself. No, I'm joking. No, there was no, I didn't really, the biggest thing, and this year in terms of that, I'm sure we'll get more information, but I wasn't privy to anything insane. I mean, there was more podcaster drama I heard about more than Bravo celebrity drama. And
I heard about
the big thing,
drama too.
Yeah, the big thing was with Sandoval and like Sheena. That was like a big thing. But luckily, I mean, Ariana, like she had to go to the Bravos and then she rehearsed from like 11 to 3 in the morning for Dancing with the Stars in Vegas. Like she was working her ass off this weekend. But of course, people will villainize her for it, because I don't know. So, yeah,
she's
no,
so cold, luckily, Ryan. She's so cold.
I'm trying to think of any of the drama. I thought it was going to be a more negative experience because of Bethany's reality reckoning thing, but it was actually really positive. And I didn't personally see a lot of drama. Like there was a lot more mess last year from what I saw.
Oh, so cleaner in Vegas. Shocker.
Well, yeah, I mean, like the booing at the Jersey panel was dramatic, I guess. But Joey kind of kept it in line from what I understand. But yeah, just more podcaster drama instead of any of that.
I know. Oh, Alex, thank you so much for the super chat. Evelyn, thank you. She says, best collab ever. And Jennifer, thank you so much for the super sticker. Okay, Ryan, let's definitely do this again.
Did we get enough likes? Did we get likes?
What's
did
our
we get enough?
Mods, if you don't mind letting us know in the live chat? Did we get to
what does that even mean, mods? Like there's people you've like people are like watching the likes and stuff. My God,
most trusted people.
This seems too intense, this operation. There's like a whole staff. I'm telling you,
hit me up. I'm gonna walk you and Zachary Reality through it, and
you gotta come on my podcast soon.
I would love to. That would be amazing. Okay, well, we're kind of far from 1,000. We're at 168.
Wait, we only got 168 likes in this entire thing? Are you insane?
I mean,
I thought we were good as gold. Are you kidding me? Only 100. Wow. Did you guys hate me? Is that what this means? This is horrible.
I think they just tear themselves away. Yeah, to like it. We're gonna keep
like it after the fact. Actually, guys, if we don't get to 1,000, I'm never coming on here again, which is what you might want. But like, we got to get this to 1,000. My God,
we'll be dead to each other if you guys don't like each other. We will start a fake online fight, and we will be two.
But is this online later that people can watch it?
Yes, this is on YouTube. So, I think we'll get there. I have a good feeling that we're gonna get there,
guys.
Oh my gosh, this was so fun. Okay, Ryan, not that everyone doesn't already know, but where can everybody find you? All that.
Yeah, it's called So Bad It's Good with Ryan Bailey podcast. We just switched over to the Betches network. Betches, amazing.
That's so exciting. That is
It's
amazing.
really
Congratulations.
so exciting. Thank you. And YouTube, like we're still like gonna fairly new. We've been doing it for a while, but we don't do it at this kind of level. But go follow the YouTube page because Meditza's putting up videos all the time, interviews, recaps, things like that. It's not the full show you hear on the podcast, but it's a good portion of the show. So also I'll be on Jeff Lewis Live this Thursday on Sirius. And we have a Patreon if you wanted to follow along on the Patreon journey, patreon.com/so bad it's good.
Oh my gosh, so great. Oh, and in that moment, you got us
180
more likes, Ryan.
Oh God,
you did
only
that.
820 more and I can go.
We'll get there. We'll get there. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Ryan, stick around. I'm just going to do the outro and I want to say thank you to you backstage. But thank you guys so much. Shout out to all my super chatters today. Thank you to those of you that hit me up on the Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. I see you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And like this video, comment afterwards. Go follow Ryan everywhere. And I'll be back tonight after Big Brother. We're almost to the end of this. Do you watch Big Brother, Ryan?
No, I can't do that. It's too much. I hear it's great and I would probably get so into it, but I just can't. I can't do it. I'm sorry.
No,
but I hear it's amazing.
Lucky. You're lucky. You're not doing it because we're ready for this fucking season to be over. All right, you guys. Thank you so much. And like I always say, enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Bye.